Of preseason football. Here's a look at all 11 games on Saturday and Sunday, which includes the debut of Justin Fields and #1 overall pick Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars, of course. All right, so let's take a look at what the guys are keeping an eye on this weekend. Kimberly, let's start with you.
Field, I am looking forward to the start of the Zach Wilson era. I did a SportsCenter feature on how the Jets are still looking after all these years for the next Joe Namath, and some bad practices recently has Jets Twitter buzz and a little nervous. I want everybody to step away from the panic button, get excited to see Zach Wilson in action.
Well, babyface, the first damn thing I'm looking forward to is my power not being knocked out by this thunderstorm. And after that, I'm looking for Justin Fields and see how much he grasps what Matt Nagy wants him to do. I believe this guy's going to be the starter week 1 out of the gate. He's shown up in practice. Lou Riddick reported that people are raving about him. I can't wait to see him in live action and how he runs and operates this offense.
So I got to go with the guy who's basically a de facto rookie quarterback, Jordan Love. I mean, it feels like we've spent the entire offseason waiting to see Love in action because the subtext of the whole Aaron Rodgers saga in Green Bay was that we haven't seen Jordan Love in action. So I'm excited to watch him play football in the NFL for the first time ever and to see how he looks, which, you know, it is it's a beautiful mystery to us right now.
He's like the man of mystery in the NFL, Mina. It's ridiculous. All right, so Kim, I will turn to you. What are you looking to see out of Jordan Love on Saturday, who, again, we haven't seen him play a football game in over 600 days?
That's the thing. That's what I need people to keep in mind. If you look up his stat sheet on NFL.com, there is no information because the man has not played. So within reason, you want to see him protect the football and you just want to see some flashes. Remind everybody why Green Bay moved into the first round to draft you as a first rounder. Why, when they had Aaron Rodgers, did they see the future in you? That's all he has to do. Just be himself, be consistent, take care of the football, and he'll be all right.
Make a public service announcement because this is not about Jordan Love and how he performs for me. This is about telling the Green Bay Packers fans and the football world, don't put this kid under any added pressure and compare him to Aaron Rodgers. We all know the saga that went on this offseason, and we know Jordan Love was one of those guys that wasn't talked about, and it didn't seem to me that it was enough emphasis on his development as opposed to trying to get Aaron Rodgers back into camp. What you are absolutely right about what we want to see from Jordan Love. Remind us why Brian Gutekunst drafted you. Remind us why it wasn't stupid to have a succession plan to an aging quarterback, even if he's playing at a high level. And also, like for all of these young guys in real live game action, how do you manage what is going on the football field, right? That's what I loved about watching Mac Jones last night. He looked like he had been in the NFL before. That's what I hope to see from Justin Fields. That's what I saw from Dwayne Haskins. I want to see that from Jordan Love. Operate at a high level, pre-snap, post-snap, and if you can't make the throws, you can't play in this damn league anyway. But I want to see him operate things and be a professional quarterback and get guys lined up and in the right positions. This ain't Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay fans.
Well, Mina, it is certainly not Aaron Rodgers. What will be your biggest concern about Jordan Love? Again, I just can't imagine. I can't believe we actually get to see this man play.
I know, I'm excited. Well, I feel Marcus said we shouldn't compare Jordan Love to Aaron Rodgers, which is true. However, we should compare Green Bay Packers Jordan Love to Utah State Jordan Love, because what you want to see is growth. And the reservation that draft scouts had about him coming out of college was the decision making. It wasn't the arm talent, wasn't the athleticism, it was those 17 interceptions. Now those belong in context, which is that he was playing in a difficult situation at Utah State, a lot of turnover, not just amongst the players around him, but also the coaching staff. But he's had a year to sit on the bench and basically learn about football and study the game. So watching him in this first start, I don't want to see him making mistakes, throwing into coverage. I want to see him keeping the basically avoiding turnovers and throwing it away if he has to. And if he does all of those things, I'll feel a lot better about him going forward.
Yeah, certainly a night that many Packers fans have been looking forward to see Jordan Love on the field. So the team on the other side of that game is the Houston Texans, who continue to deal with the Deshaun Watson investigation. Two women say they resent some of the tactics NFL investigators used in interviews with them regarding their contact with Watson. According to Sports Illustrated, Amy Solis said the investigators asked her what she was wearing when she worked with Watson, and they said it was a question they had to ask. Lauren Baxley told SI she thought the investigators were, quote, patronizing and victim blaming. 10 of the 22 women who filed suit against Watson have spoken with Lisa Friel and Jennifer Gaffney, who head up the NFL's special counsel for investigations. Kimberly, you reached out to the league for more. What response did you get?
Yeah, Fields, I reached out to the NFL this afternoon, and essentially what I was told was there is no change in Watson's status. The investigation is still ongoing, and the league deems it a serious matter. But as of right now, nothing has changed. As you see here, the league statement, the NFL's review of the serious allegations against Deshaun Watson remains ongoing and active. We are working cooperatively with the Houston Police Department and ensuring that the NFL's inquiry does not interfere with their investigation.
Well, Kimberly, honestly,
as we continue to gather. No, just that this is the point that I do want to make, because a lot of people mention the commissioner's exempt list. Now, there is no change. The league says, as we continue to gather additional information and monitor the law enforcement developments, we will make appropriate decisions consistent with the collective bargaining agreement and the personal conduct policy, including whether the information supports placement on the commissioner's exempt list. At this time, there are no restrictions on Watson's participation in club activities. So nothing has changed right now, but there could be changes down the line. We will see if that happens.
Yeah, and reading the SI report that was released earlier today, this remains a deeply disturbing situation in Houston. Yes. We'll see what the next steps are in the Deshaun Watson case. Coming up next on NFL Live, Kyler Murray is back in action for the Cardinals, and they're scheduled to play tonight against Dallas. I should say he is. Will the Cowboys defense be able to hold off Kyler or Cliff King? No one is objecting to miking up Dan Campbell, the Lions head coach, forever. So Dan Campbell and his quarterback Jared Goff are both making their debut in Detroit tonight, but ESPN's Football Power Index doesn't have high expectations for the Lions. Detroit has the second lowest percent chance to make the playoffs this season at 7%, only ahead of the Houston Texans. All right, Mina, you know Jared Goff well. Of course, Mina, part of the Rams preseason broadcast booth. Cannot wait for tomorrow night. What are you looking to see out of Jared Goff now in Detroit?
Well, Field, I'm looking to see how Jared responds to what I think is the best thing he's got going for him in Detroit, which is that he gets to play behind one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. We talk about this team correctly like they're a rebuilding program, and that's fair, and it's fair to criticize the skill players, although I think there's some sneaky good names there. But when you look at this offensive line from left to right, it's really strong, right? Obviously, Taylor Decker has been fantastic. Frank Ragnow, one of the best centers in football. They drafted Penei Sewell, who I mentioned earlier, to man the right side. That's not only a really solid group, it's really important for Goff, because part of the reason he was traded, part of the reason he struggled at the end in Los Angeles was how much he struggled under pressure. The splits were extremely dramatic when he was kept clean versus when he was hassled by defenders. And if this if this offensive line in Detroit is as good as it should be, I actually think he could perform better than some people think, because when he is kept clean and when he does have time, he is quite accurate.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if Jared Goff can lift the team. Listen, y'all know me, I'm on record. I don't trust him. And a lot of that had to do with seeing him under pressure and not be able to respond consistently. To your point, MK, but when you look at Detroit, obviously you look at their schedule and what it's been for so many years, you think about the polar opposite, right? We got Matthew Stafford going over with Sean McVay, and we got Jared Goff going over with crazy Dan Campbell, my former teammate. But when you think about Jared Goff in this particular situation, there's two things that come to mind for me. Is Jared Goff a better quarterback than I thought, because he's going to go through some hell this year playing with the Detroit Lions? And you are absolutely right about this offensive line. But can he lift a team? out of certain situations, right? Sean McVay got so much praise about his offensive prowess and the way he set guys up, and that offense was very difficult to stop. You could have put anybody back there and had them operate at a very high level. And Sean McVay even alluded to the fact that Jared Goff at times didn't give him enough to overcome play calling. So now he is in Detroit. We know damn well he's going to have to overcome some play calling. I want to see if he can lift the team from the quarterback spot.
Yeah, Marcus, it almost feels like, to the points both of you are making, the calculus for this trade was the Rams felt like Jared Goff couldn't raise their ceiling enough, where the Lions feel like he can raise their floor a little bit. They don't make any, mistakes about where they're headed this year. It's not the Super Bowl, but more respectable than maybe some people imagined they could be this year. All right, so from the Lions to the Falcons, as Kyle Pitts broke the quarterback streak to begin the 2021 NFL Draft, as Atlanta used the 4th overall pick on the Swiss Army knife out of Florida. Now, Pitts may have been the highest drafted tight end in the common draft era, but he was much more than that at Florida. In his final season with the Gators, 48% of Pitts' routes came while in line, while 30% came from the slot, and 22 came way out wide. He was also the definition of a playmaker with, how about this, 91% of his receptions resulting in either a first down or a touchdown. Wow. He's ridiculous, Swagoo, and there are probably a lot of ways you can go with this. But what are you most excited to see out of Kyle Pitts tonight?
I want to see if Kyle Pitts is going to continue the trend he had it going at Florida, where he destroyed matchups. And when I think about last night, right, I think about Ryan Fitzpatrick when he threw to Logan Thomas. And Logan just big body, ability to turn around and catch the ball. We saw Kyle Pitts do that over and over and over again at Florida. We know that you cannot cover him with a linebacker or a safety based on what we have, the intelligence we have right now. And then I want to see if they're going to move him around at all. Like, will he move different positions? Will Arthur Smith try to create those matchup nightmares that you can get from having these tight ends? I fully expect Kyle Pitts to be in the conversation with Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, as far as a pass-catching tight end by season's end. I'm excited to see him in his debut, and I want to see if he's going to start this thing off, taking advantage of them little dudes that's going to be trying to cover it.
I can't wipe this stupid smile off my face. I'm so excited to watch Kyle Pitts in the NFL.
I know,
Marcus
right?
made a really good point there about how he's utilized, whether he's split out wide, are we going to see him blocking in line? Because off season, we've been speculating, okay, Arthur Smith is coming to Atlanta. Does that mean he's going to bring the Tennessee offense with him? How is Kyle Pitts going to be utilized? Because in my mind, he actually could be used more like A.J. Brown than Jonnu Smith, right? Given some of his traits. And then that leaves, okay, well then how is Calvin Ridley used? Is he more of the Corey Davis Z receiver role where he's running those deep overs? We won't know, frankly, until those players are actually on the field. Now, I don't expect Arthur Smith to reveal all of his plans and intentions in the preseason, but it'll be our first glimpse of what this offense looks like, and it has the potential to be one of the more explosive offenses in the NFL.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. It's not often you can say a team that trades away Julio Jones still can be extremely explosive, but there are plenty of pieces in place for Atlanta to be extremely explosive. All right, again, we still have so much more to come here on NFL Live. As we know, the learning curve is going to be steep for any young quarterback, including Jalen Hurts. Will the Eagles be able to help him learn from last night's loss?
Coming out there and, for the most part, executing, There's a lot to learn from, though, like always.